Good afternoon, YouTube. It is I, Danielle, better known as Danielle, a happy medium. And after what has been a little bit of a break for me here on YouTube, I'm back ready with some new content, ready to help all those out there in the industry who's looking for my help. And hopefully this channel will help you get a better understanding of mediumship with the no frills, making mediumship that bit easier for everybody who may be wanting to watch. Like I say, I am Danielle, and in this video up for discussion today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest questions I get in the industry, and one of the ones I get whenever I'm teaching is, are you making it up? We can give you all the hints and tips, we can give you all the techniques in the business, but if you don't believe in what you're getting, you're always going to worry in some capacity as to whether it's imagination or whether it is actually the spirit world. And the easiest way that I can break this down for you, and one of the simplest techniques that I can give you, is to make sure that you're using the power of your mind. This is the biggest thing that you're going to need when you're doing mediumship. As long as you have used the thought matter, which is, I'm going to the spirit world, or, you know, whichever statement that you want to use in order to be able to get your mind from this world to that world, then you are always going to have moved your mind to the spirit world. And what you have to then believe is everything that comes in thereafter is from the spirit world. It is not going to be psychic. It is not going to be, you know, your imagination, because if you've used the power of intent, you've used the power of your mind, then you have took your mind to the spirit world. And everything that floods into your mind thereafter, or anything that floods onto your body, remember I've done a video about that, I'll put it at the end of the video for you. We're not just always using the mind, we're using also the body as well. The body's a really important factor when we're doing mediumship. Sometimes everybody goes here looking for the, you know, the imagery, or looking for like a word, or, you know, something along them lines, but totally forget all about the body. And what you have to understand is have you got that ache? So I don't know, say all of a sudden you got a bad back. Right, okay. Did you have that bad back before you moved your mind? No. Therefore, then it belongs to the spirit world. So once you give that off, something else will then follow in there after. It might be then the imagery, it might then be a word, it might then be, you know, and just a knowing that, you know, you've got a gentleman stood with you, you know, whatever it may be. And you've got to learn to roll with that. You've got to learn to have that little bit of confidence in you. And a lot of people come to me and they've got no confidence. They've had some issues in the movement. They've had somebody say this, that, the other. They don't quite believe in themselves, you know, whatever it may be out there, you know, because unfortunately we all have our own hang-ups. Excuse me, we all have our own flaws. So confidence is a big thing, and the only way to really improve this confidence is to get out there and practice in the industry, to get out there with your open circles, get out there, test on your friends and family, whatever it may be. That's the only way you're going to build that confidence, unless you're quite a confident person by nature. But even then, there's always going to be that element of doubt. There's always going to be that element of fear of, what if I get it wrong? What happens if, you know, this happens? What if everybody laughs at me? You know, what if it's not quite right? And what you got to learn to do is you've got to learn to keep going even when things get tough. To give you an example, I was at a demonstration just before Christmas. Concert, one of my hometown gigs, one of my biggest of the year. It's always, I do their Christmas special for them. I had a rough night, I got to be honest with you. I had to plough my way through, even though the audience was working with me, even though the spirit world was there. My mind just wasn't quite grasping it, or my mind wasn't quite getting it, or it just wasn't dropping in, and I just didn't seem to be flowing all that good. And I just kept ploughing on. And you know what kept me going more than anything in this world is that an old medium told me this many years ago: the spirit world will never let you down. And believe me, they did not let me down. They were still there. They were still giving me information. It was just, I just couldn't quite get it right. And what I have to tell you is even if you think you're making it up, trust me, the spirit world's not going to let you down. Even if you've maybe grabbed it a bit wrong, or it's not quite dropping in, or you've moved your mind from the spirit world and you've come back to the walking world, whatever it may be there, as long as you take your mind back to the spirit world, they will always be there. They'll always give you something to keep you going, i.e. me as a professional. When I was doing that demonstration at concert, it might not have been one of my better dems, but it was a good dem. It was a very good dem. Wasn't an excellent dem, but it was enough, and it was enough to get me where I needed to be. all working hand in hand with the spirit world, and making sure that my mind was there, making sure I kept going back for more information, making sure I worked them notes to the best of my ability. And what you have to understand here when you're doing mediumship, if you're getting it right all the time, you're not learning anything, you're not getting anything from it, you're not understanding that, we must get it wrong, we must learn to get them no's, we must learn to have them harder demonstrations, we must learn to sort of stand in a room and think, nobody's taking this, what am I going to do? Because what you have to understand here is when you get up on them public platforms, there's only you, the congregation, in the spirit world, and nobody's going to get you out that jam but you in the spirit world. So you have to understand that you have to get used to being in them situations where it makes you feel uncomfortable, makes you feel like, I want to pull out. You can't pull out. You're there for the next hour and a half demonstrating. You've got nowhere to go. You've got to keep going. You've got to find that inspiration within you. You've got to believe that the spirit world's there with you. And the old medium was true. The spirit world never let you down, and they're always there with you. But for them who are the Buddha medium, or them who are just starting out, I thought you might like to hear that little story, so it makes you feel like you're not the only one that has troubles. You're not the only one that gets it wrong. You're not the only one that struggles from time to time out there. Trust me, I've been in them situations. I still get in them situations to this day. Don't think that you're the only ones out there who's struggling, because you aren't. But if you really think you're making it up, the best thing to do is make sure you've moved your mind. Make sure that you're using the thought to get yourself over there. If you feel as if your mind slipped back, push your mind back over. Make sure that you're constantly staying over there. If you think that you're moving out, plateauing between the two platforms, what you have to work out is what's psychic, what's mediumistic. Mediumistic is always going to be a lot differently to what the psychic is. But that is a journey that you need to take. That's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to fathom that out straight away. I don't care what anybody tells you. You are not going to work out whether you're working psychically or mediumistically until you've been working a little bit and you've got some understanding of your energy and of your mediumship. Because as you move further and further down that path, that becomes more evidential. That becomes more prominent. You start to become aware of when you've moved your mind and your mind's still in the spirit world to when your mind's moved out the spirit world and come back to the earth world. And that is a gauge that you will understand when the time is right for you. Nobody can teach you that. I can't teach you that. Nobody can teach you that. It is something that you must learn along your path, but learn and understand and remember that the spirit world will always be there, and they will never ever let you down, and they will always look after you in every capacity when you're doing your communications with them. What you've got to learn to do is trust and just give it as it comes. Give whatever you get. So if you get that bad back, give it. If you get a sore finger, give the sore finger. It's not our job to understand the communications. Lots and lots of mediums get involved in communications. You shouldn't really, because what I think of the communication is far different to what's really relevant for the loved one that's sitting in front. So for example, maybe, we give a butterfly, just as an example, because it's very simple, it's very easy, and it's seen quite a lot of, and it's done a lot of. For me, butterflies mean, signs from the spirit world. But for the woman sitting in the chair, it may mean that the daughter give her a card with a butterfly on. So us getting involved in the communications, or us not giving it as it comes to you, may also interfere or may make you think that it's not yours. So make sure that you give it as it comes, because what you think it means actually is far different to what it means to that person sitting in the congregation there. But with connections to, are you making it up? One or two ways to test. 1, test it out. 2, make sure you've got your power of the mind with the thoughts. 3, make sure that you're sitting quite regular, so you're understanding your energy, making sure that you understand you. The clearer your mind is, the clearer it is for the spirit world to get in there. And therefore it's easy for them to get the communications over. Make sure that you're checking out 4. Check out your body. Watch what the body's doing. Is it doing something different? Don't always rely on what's going on in here. Check out what's going on physically as well as what's going on within your mind. Will get you up and on your feet sometimes with the communication. Sometimes people say to me, I've got nothing. That's something else I hear quite a lot of. I haven't got nothing, Danielle. And I hear that at my students all the time. And I push every one of my students to get up. Now, people say that may be a bit mean. It's not mean. It's just, I believe that the spirit world, if you're working for them, will never not leave you with nothing. They are desperate to communicate. There ain't enough mediums going around to communicate for the amount of voices that's up there over there in the spirit world that's looking for communications. So the spirit world is always going to be looking to communicate. So when people say to me they've got nothing, it's either they're too busy up here within the mind looking at what's going on in here. And I am going to be doing a video on this straight after this one. And that will help you to get up and on your feet. Sometimes keep away from here and look at what's happening externally. All right. But I've been Danielle. Pleased to be back. I missed you over here on YouTube. I have been over on Instagram doing some bits and pieces over on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, check me out, Danielle, Happy Medium. If you're not already following my podcasts, check out them. They've become massively really popular. So do check them out. And I really do talk about subjects and topics that are a little bit close to the bone there. So certainly do check us out over on podcast if you're not already with us over there. And you will be seeing me every Tuesday and every Thursday from here on in for the foreseeable future. And also you'll be getting to see some of the travelling that I'm doing next year, which includes the Lilydale Centre, Canada, New York, Goa, Holland, Australia, which is also Perth, and also the Gold Coast as well, and New Zealand. So we have very interesting and very busy 2020. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas, and I wish you all the very best for New Year and for 2020. And I will be seeing a lot more of you lot here on YouTube. But for now, this video has been on Are You Making It Up? I've been Danielle. Please do subscribe, like, share, and I will see you all next Tuesday. Bye for now.